everyone, welcome to the beginning of a new series. Now as you can see, I have got this double page spread. This video was actually sponsored by Barb. She asked me to do this page from Ivy in the Inky Butterfly, and she asked me to do it in Polychromos pencil, so that's what I'm going to do. Now she sponsored that. She took the commission option from my Ko-fi shop and asked me to do this, so anyone else can do the same thing if they want to. Now it's quite a lot going on in this page. I totally agree with anyone who thinks it's a daunting page. It is, but what I have decided to do is to try to break it down into sections. Now I didn't know whether to do all the gems, then all the metal and that way, but I don't think I'm going to do it that way. What I think I'm going to do is take a little section like here, do this little section, and then maybe do another section. I think that'll be easier, because if I try and do all the gems in one video, firstly there's a lot, but I'll probably forget like that one or something like that, and then it'll be a bit disjointed. So I think it's better to take a little pot area or whatever and work on that. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to start on this goblet. Now I don't know how far I'm going to get. I'm not sort of aiming on saying I'm going to do the whole thing this video. It's just going to see how long it takes. I've been practicing my gemstones a little bit because I haven't done any for ages. So I was having a little look at some different ways to do them, and this isn't the way I normally do them, but I thought it would be good to try something a little bit different. So I'm just grabbing the colours that I want. I'm just looking at what I've grabbed. I don't want that one. Yeah, that one and that one. So I've got 3 reds to start with. We're going to do a couple of red ones. So I've got a really dark red, the deep scarlet red, and the scarlet red. So we've got a sort of progression of 3 different colours. Sometimes I use 2, sometimes 3. This one's quite big, so I thought 3 might be better. So what I'm also used to always try and do was think about, like, that point looks like it might be highest, so maybe put all the light areas here. I'm going to do it a little bit differently, a little bit more random, and see how it works really. I've been experimenting and it seemed to work well. So starting with the dark red, I'm going to do all my dark areas, and as I say, it's going to be a bit random. So I'm going to just start with this segment and make it dark here, down at the bottom, and then just sort of fade it up a little bit. Now we've got our other colours to come into, so we don't need to fade it too far up, but there we go, like that. Then this one, I'll just take a random corner. I'm going to do that one, and just sort of do it diagonally on this one. I'm going to do them all a little bit differently to each other, like that. Don't worry if it looks a little bit messy, because we've got the other 2 colours to go, and you can always go back over what you've done. Polychromos are very forgiving. You can layer over them and sort of correct things if you need to. Now you might want to wait and see whether you like the way this is working out with the different directions. I don't know, I've been playing with it and I quite like doing it this way. There's no right or wrong. I try to sort of think, what do these look like in real, but it's quite difficult to do that because you're sometimes looking inside the gem, you're sometimes looking at reflections on it, things like that, and I don't want to think about what might be reflecting here, because that's quite complicated. I'm going to do that corner here. Now let's do that whole side like that. Yeah, I think reflections are very tricky. My washing machine is so loud. You won't be able to hear it, I'm sure. I can hear it through the floor. It's that Sunday day where all the jobs are being done. We've started actually trying to get all our jobs done on a Saturday and sort of over and done with in one day. It's rather nice. But yesterday we were out, so we didn't get anything done. So we're doing all our jobs today instead. So got up, put some washing on, started the cleaning, popped out to the supermarket, came back, did some more cleaning, washing still happening. I'm really not thinking about which corner I'm doing here. I'm just going for it. Now some of my corners are a bit darker than others as well, or they go a bit further. I'm happy with that, with the slight randomness of it. But you might want it slightly more regimented, should we say, slightly more planned. Let's do that edge there. But I've been talking and just doing it without really thinking. And then this one. And then I'm wondering whether to do another one in this set of colours, but maybe not. Then we've got our deep scarlet red. I'm going to continue what we've done. So the best thing is to not go quite over the darkest bit, but as you start to fade it, go over it with this and then fade it a bit more. Now I might not do a second colour in there because I want some white, so I think that's probably done. So actually last time I did this I actually found the same thing. I grabbed out 3 colours and I ended up only using 2. 2 of the main colour, and then I used some black, which I might use too. So maybe we won't be using that other red, but leave a little bit white. That's a bit too harsh a line. I'm just gonna, there we go. This is quite a big section. I might fade that off and use the lighter red in that one in a bit. And what that will mean is that the different sections aren't all identical colours, which I think does make sense. There's this little one here I'm not going to be able to fit a second colour in, I don't think, so I'll just sort of take it up to there. There we go. Yeah, I had a nice day out yesterday. My parents, my nephew's birthday, he actually, I didn't see much of him, to be honest. He finds the gatherings, family gatherings, quite tricky. It's not really his thing, but it was nice to see other people. My nieces, my other nephew I chatted to, all of them, so that was nice. And actually the Olympics was on. I wanted it on, my mum had put the telly on for me, because there was some climbing on, which was good. And then yes, diving, which I like. They actually, most of them went out to town and wanted to go to a sweet shop, not sure why. Well, they like sweets, obviously I don't. So we went off to a sweet shop and I stayed back with, actually all my family stayed back, it was just us. We watched the diving, some of it. And then my nephew came back and watched a bit with us too. He found it quite interesting. So that was good. He was, they don't have a TV, they don't really watch sports and things, but he was, so he hadn't really seen any before. Now this is our final colour red, the scarlet red, and I'm not going to put it on all of them. So this one I felt quite happy with how it was. I might just tidy this one up a little bit, but I want to make sure there's some white. So this one obviously we can pop quite a bit in, but some of them we probably won't really need any. So it's just a matter of adding it in where it feels right, and just leaving, I'm going to there, a bit of white somewhere to make it look shiny. A bit on that edge. This one's pretty much done. Just going to add a teensy bit in there. This one I feel needs a tad. Maybe a bit there. Yeah, it was nice. It was a good get together, and yeah, everyone seemed in pretty good spirits, which was good. and we're getting together again in a few weeks' time. It's a different sort of get together though. My mum likes to have a sort of fat party twice a year for all the family to get together, so she just invites her nieces and nephews, her brothers and sisters. Well, actually brothers, sisters. She hasn't got any sisters now. And so big get together. Now this is black. Now what I'm going to do is I want to put a little bit of black in the darkest areas just to really emphasize the black. But we don't want to go too hard. We don't want it to look like black. I know this sounds ridiculous. We want to look like dark red. So I'm going to really gently just put a little bit down and hope that it just looks like a shadowy red rather than a black. And I might not do it in every section, just some of them. Put a bit there. I think that one could do with some. This one's quite dark. See, that one's a bit light, so I don't want to put any in there because I think it's going to not look quite right. It's the last day of the Olympics today. I was just watching some before I started recording. I had been watching our girl win a bronze at the weightlifting, which is pretty amazing for us here in this country because what I'm going to do now is get a white pencil. I'm not going to use a Polychromos. I think I'm going to use my Caran d'Ache. Is that? No, that's not. No, I haven't got it in here. I'm going to use, oh, that's a luminance. That's a titanium buff. Now I use, I can use a Polychromos, Prismacolor white. You can use whatever you want, just to emphasize these white areas a little bit more. I want to be a bit careful because I don't want it to look too pink. Just a little tad here. Don't have to do this bit. You can use the Polychromos white if you want to. Now if you don't have a white pen, put this white pencil over every black line. I can do it with a pen. Okay, so this is a Sakura Jelly Roll 10 and I'm going to use it on every single black line on this particular gemstone. Now when I was experimenting with this, now normally I only do one line of white pen, but actually when I did two it was very much more effective, so I'm going to do two bits applications of it because it just takes it from grey to white. Now we've got other gemstones. I'm just going to scribble that. It's getting a bit clogged. We've got other gemstones in this goblet which we will do in a similar way, but we'll probably only use two colours for these ones. They're quite a lot smaller. So, and yeah, this one looks like it's sort of sitting on a base somehow. So we might do that one a bit differently. Now the white pen I think makes a really big difference. It might not show up on this first layer, but once you've done two I think it makes a huge difference. Now I think this double page is going to take us a really long time because of the amount of small details. Now I might have to sort of stop the series and restart it because of the planner pages. So, but just see how it goes, because once I've done 4 videos of this I know it will be time to do a planner page. This week's coming up planner page is actually fairly straightforward. I think it's a really cute picture actually. So that is my first lot of white. I'm going to leave that to dry a little bit before I do another one. What I think I might do is have a go at this one here, and then let's just move those pencils over there. There we go. So I'm thinking maybe we'll do a green here. I want to go with the deep cobalt green. I can't speak. For my first green, I'm just going to start with this without choosing my next colour yet, because probably just have two. So let's go up here for the first one, really deep here, and then just fade down. Now the cobalt green, this is the deep cobalt green. The cobalt green is a very turquoisey bluey colour, so I'm certainly not going to use that one because I have never tried them together and I'm not sure if it will really work. So I'm going to use a different green shade. I'm thinking maybe a phthalo or an emerald, something like that. Let's do a bit down there. So we'll see in a minute. I'll make up my mind soon. That's why I just got going, because I couldn't decide. I know a lot of you would probably think, well, I'd have to plan that out, but not a planner. Well, I am sometimes, but when it comes to colouring, sometimes I just want to go for it. I just want to get on and have fun, get on with the colouring. There we go. So that's the first layer of green. Let's have a look. Do we want the phthalo, or I think the emerald isn't quite right. Yeah, I think I'll go for the phthalo. I think it'll work. Not the dark, just a normal phthalo, not the light. That one's too light for this. I don't know what happened there. Whoop. Who knows? It made that noise. Phthalo green. Right, let's take this. So I'm not starting right in the darkest corner. Just sort of extending this colour and just fading it down. You don't need to go to white here because we're going up against this other gemstone. I'll take this one up and just try and fade it off like that. Yeah, one of my nieces has just found herself a new job, which is good. It's not a job in what she really wants to do, but she needs some money to pay her rent and things, so it's a start. So I'm pleased that she's got something and that she's sort of had the confidence to apply and get something and that sort of thing, because her last job they let her go because she had a bit of a falling out with someone, really. I think was the basics of it. I'm going to get my trusted black back out again. Now, I'm not a big fan of black. Always. You know this, that I often think that black can look a bit dirty. But I think in this particular case, it just seems to make quite the difference. It helps the white to look whiter. Am I making sense? Maybe. So just putting a few bits here and there, and then we'll get our white pen out again, and I'm going to go over this one and then over this one. Okay. So yeah, I'm really pleased for her that she's got something. And it is hospitality. It's in a, I think it's a restaurant or cafe. Restaurant, that's right. So she'll be a waitress, I'm assuming, because that's what she was doing before. And she was a cocktail waitress before, so her hours were really quite off because she was in a club which was open very late. But now she's going, because she's in a restaurant, although it opens a little bit late, it probably won't open to, you know, early hours of the morning or anything. So I think that will help her a little bit too, because it means she can sleep at a more reasonable hour. And her partner is apparently about to start a new uni course. He's got a master's and hasn't been able to find a job in the field he's trained in because there just aren't any. He's a computer games designer, I can't quite remember, programmer I think, but there aren't really that, he doesn't want to just do general programming, he's not that keen, and there just aren't jobs in games. A lot of companies have been making people redundant, so he's decided to do a extra year at uni. He can get funding to train to be a teacher, and he's going to teach maths, interestingly. They're crying out for maths teachers in this country, because, you know, everybody does maths up until the age of 16. You have to. So it's a subject that is always going to be needed. We're very short of teachers. Teaching is a difficult job, you know, but I think he wants to give it a go, and good on him, I say. Right, now we've got this one behind. I'm thinking a purple, a sort of violet-y colour could work quite well. I'm going to start with my mauve. Now this is a different shape. So we've got this sort of almost base part here, and then we've got these, which I feel like this is like an edge. I'm not sure what this second line is for. That's my only thought, because I'm thinking, is this the sort of base and this is like the top? So what I'm going to do is just give it a go. So I'm going to start here and then fade like that, and start here and fade, and we're going to bring another colour in to finish, but I'm just going to make that a bit darker, because although I could come in with my black, I just want a bit more purple in there. And then these two, I'm just going to start here, I think, on this one, and fade it across like that, and on this one start here like that, and then we'll do the same on this. Oops, that was my black pencil wanting to join the party in a minute. And then we'll go across here like that. This bottom one, I want to go right across the bottom for this one, and then take it up a bit. Like that, and then this side, because I've gone over the line, I'm just going to take it from here. I think down here, I'll do a sort of diagonal type direction for that one, and then this one I'm going to go right in here. Put a bit up there too. There we go. Now I want a slightly lighter colour. I'm going to go for the violet. The purple violet is a nice colour, but I feel like this has got a bit less pink in, so I think it just works better with the mauve. I'm only going to do these two colours on this one, because there's no other colour that really works, I don't think, with these. This has still got a little bit of pink in, and just fade down to nothing like that, and then here we're sort of fading up to nothing, sort of edge like that. Now this one, so we've got this sort of direction shading across like that. Bring this one up like that. I feel like that line's a bit too dark. I'm just going to erase it back a little bit there. There we go. Happy with that. There we go. Okay, now this one. Whew, very warm. It's supposed to be getting up to very high temperatures today. I think 27 here in our town. It's supposed to get up to 30 plus in some places. Fortunately not here. But I'm suddenly feeling very warm. I think it's more to do with a hot flush than anything else. But I could always take my socks off if I get too hot. But I don't like taking my socks off because I'm so clumsy I stub my toe. And if I do that with socks on, you've at least got a little bit of protection. But I tend not to be too bad. There we go. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of black like I did on the others. I think that black, it just really works. So here we go with our black. And I shall definitely put a bit up here. So I am only pressing quite gently with my black and being really careful to scumble it so that it just sort of gently blends in. I'm not going to do any here because it isn't quite as dark. I think this bit here, maybe just the tiniest tad. Let's move those out of my way. Yeah, you need to be careful with the black, don't plaster it on. Just press as lightly as you can, gently build up the layer a little bit. I'm going to pop a tiny tad in there. Yeah, now I didn't put any white in this one. I don't know, I don't think I really want white. I feel like this line here is a bit odd, but I think what I'm going to do, put my white pen and then see how it goes. This one is quite good. It doesn't necessarily need a second layer, but I'm going to see when I get down there. Now white pens, I think it was Sarah Renee Clark who did a review of all white pens and picked out her favourite. I'm sure the one she said was the best was one that I've never been able to buy. Because she's in Australia, she gets a different sort of selection to us. I think in Australia you can get more Japanese, or Japanese have such amazing stationery. Japan, I mean. And I think they can get more of those. Although this is a Japanese pen. So I don't know. I think the Sakura. But anyway, I'm sure I didn't recognise the brand that she had said was the best. I'm just going over bits of this that need it, not all of it does. There we go. Now, I've got this little one on the corner. What sort of colour? I'm thinking, should we do orange or should we do blue? Just going to wipe my nose, not blow my nose, I'm thinking orange. Let's go blues. My dryer is beeping at me. I've got some phthalo, I think. I think I'll go for the phthalo. So will it work? Yeah. So here's the phthalo blue. I'm going to use that first. Now normally with these I have a way that I do them, so I'm going to have to not do it that way. So I always start like this and fade on this edge one, but I could do the next one a bit differently. Like that. Then this one I'm going to go down from the corner. Like that. This one's really small. I'll just do a bit there. That's it. Now I've got a teeny one here. I'm going to go up from that bottom corner, like that. Down from the top. Oops, let's hold the page still. And then up from a flat bottom part there. Then I'm going to use my middle phthalo blue and take this a bit further up. I don't know how different this is really. It looks identical there, so I'm pressing a bit hard. Need to try and fade it up to white. Like that. This one's gone quite light anyway. There we go. A little bit more up there, a bit more down there, and like that. I think that's fine. And then we'll get our pen again. And what I'm going to do is just go down that edge a bit more because I can see some black showing through. And then Hold the book still again. Now I haven't planned what I'm doing for the background here yet. On my original version of this book I did a stone wall behind, which took absolutely ages, as you can imagine, but I was really pleased with how it looked. But I've done a stone tutorial in exactly the same way that I did the wall already for you a long time ago, so I'm feeling that perhaps I should do something a little bit different. Now let's do this crown, because we'll do something a bit different with this crown, because I'm thinking gold. It's quite fun. Now I'm just having a quick look at the shape of it before I start. I feel like one of the climbers. I don't know if you watch the climbing in the Olympics. Stand at the bottom of the wall, have a little look, have us observe, come up with a plan. That's what I was just doing. So walnut brown, I am thinking shadow and edges. So I see this line here, and this line around here, and I'm thinking maybe those are sticking out of our crown a little bit, so we need a bit of shadow just underneath it there. But we also want our dark brown to sort of start here to give our sort of gold colour. So on a bit here, but then let's pop in that shadow. We might have to redo this at the end because it might not, it might get covered up a little bit from our other colours. But pop in that shadow. Oh, sorry, I had an itchy nose. Like that, and under there. And this one we're coming across a tad. I think I feel like I want to do a little bit like that. It's a little bit different to what I might normally do. Just thinking out of the box a bit today. Now I want a lighter brown. Now I use all sorts of different browns and yellows for gold, and we get slightly different shades each time. So here is the raw umber. So we've got another crown here, I've just noticed, and we shall do that in a different way. So this is going to be our darkest colour on this bit, because this bit's sticking out. I'm going to make those edges darker like that, and this bottom part here, and then a darker bit on the top down here on our edges. Some's just gone in. A bit here and a bit down there. Then in here, just going to extend that, and this, I don't know why I'm going from this side. I'm thinking it might be darker on this side just because of the angle, and then we're going to bring that in across here. Now I haven't done any shadow underneath that band yet. I feel I need a bit of colour in there. There we go. Now I want our green gold. The green gold is like the just best colour. I'm going to actually start bringing that together, leave a bit of white in here. I think I need a bit around this circle here. There we go. I can hear my husband is hanging up the washing. I feel a bit guilty. I should be helping. There we go. Then bring a bit across from there. A bit each side here. And bring it across to here, I think. Or put the shine on this bottom part and the centre part in the same place, like that. Now I'm going to grab my darkest colour again. This was the walnut brown, and put a bit of shadow in underneath this bit. Then it might just make a little bit more sense. You want to fade it towards the middle still, even though it's just a bit of shadow. shadow will be lighter where we've got those reflections of the gold. I think what we'll do is we'll do these stones. I'm not sure about that bit. We'll do the gemstones and then we can decide what colour should we do on a crown. We'll do this colour because I don't think I'm going to be doing any gemstones in this colour. Just sharpening while you're waiting. What colour is it going to be? The manganese violet. So it's a sort of purple pink almost. Now what I'm going to do with the circle is go around the edge and then lots of layers. And as I come in towards the middle, less layers. I don't want to leave a white centre, but I want it to be lighter. It's quite difficult to do that in such teeny space, but do the best I can. That one has no lighter centre, just too small. And then this and those bits on the crown I'm not very keen on. I'm going to do a bit more on them. So I'm going to get my green gold. I'm not sure if I used much of this. And just make that white area a little bit smaller, I think. Yeah, I think that's okay. Now I've got this little one here. We could go for a pink. Let's go for, we've got quite a few different sort of pinky colours. We could do magenta and light magenta. Let's try that. She's quite close to that manganese, but never mind. Yeah, so here's our magenta. I'm going to sharpen it because it's quite a small gemstone, that one. Now I realise I haven't done any white on that. I'll do it in a minute when I do the white on this one. Just fading that down a bit. Now I'm going to do that side. Fade it in a bit like that. And then this corner maybe. Yeah, come from the bottom. It will come from here. There we go. And then our light magenta, which is a pink. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I think it will. So I want to fade it so we've still got a bit of white. Doesn't need to be loads. Can be, you can do more and less in different areas. I think I'll do more white here. Just got some space. This one we haven't got any space, so I'm not going to leave any white at all. Like that. Really quite simple, that smaller one. And then here's my white pen. I'm going to actually start with this because I'll rub it otherwise with my hand. I haven't used any black. I might go back in and use a bit of black in a minute while we're waiting for this to dry now. But I don't know if I will need any around those because it's quite nice having a really dark outline. But I think what I'm going to do instead, put a bit of shine on them. And I'll grab my black to do just, I think, in here. Here, it's so effective. Just a little tad here and there. We didn't do any black on here either, did we? It's a little bit more tricky here because it's a paler colour, but it's going to make it even more effective in those areas that I've done it in. There we go. Now where should we go? How are we doing for time? 40 minutes. Wow, we haven't done much, have we? Maybe this one here is quite interesting because it's got like this base around it, and I'm wondering whether it's sitting on a sort of piece of metal. So I'm going to colour that first as a sort of piece of metal and then do the sort of gemstone. So I'm going to start with a coal grey 3, and to do metal I'm actually going to colour it there and then fade it. I find this colour is quite good for a sort of silvery look, and then fade it like that so it looks like it's a shiny silver. I'm just going to do that across all of these different bits. That one we're doing a sort of diagonal, do a sort of pop a line in there, just bring it down to there like that, so we've got a bit of a shine through there. This one would just have it in the middle. I hope I'm not putting my hand in wet gel pen. I think we're alright. Like that. I'm just thinking where to go from here. I'm thinking I'll just fade it that way and then fade that one that way. There we go. Then the gemstones, I think I will go for an orangey colour now. This is our dark cadmium orange. We'll use this. Let's just give it a sharpen. We're going to use the same technique again. So these smaller ones are quite difficult because they're too small to really do much fading in with. So I'm just going to try my best like that. This one, I think I'm going to go dark all the way down there. And then fade that way. We'll start up here with this one, just so it's a bit different. There we go. And then in this corner here, down at the bottom here, and then this one, I'll do the bottom. Now the next orange in my sort of brightness list, as it were, is orange glaze, but that behaves very differently. It's a sort of different tone of colour, so I'm going to go to the cadmium orange, which is a little bit lighter. It should work. There we go, cadmium orange. And we'll just extend these areas out a little bit, still wanting to leave them a bit of white like that. I'm trying to work out when I'm doing this whether I'm going to put white around the metal. I didn't do that with the crown. I don't know whether I should or not. I can't really decide. Very indecisive today. Look, grab the black, do a little bit of black. Really light on this because this orange isn't particularly dark, so sorry, concentrating now. A bit there. Okay, I'll grab my white now. Do the white on the edges of this first and then decide. It's probably the best way to go because I can't visualise what it's going to look like until it's done. Makes Makes it a little bit tricky, but makes it fun too, because you don't know what to expect until you've done it. There we go, I definitely can do this one. I think it looks better. Sorry, concentrating and not talking. Not particularly entertaining. There we go. I think I am going to do around the outside. Now fortunately this pen doesn't take too long to dry because I've got my hand in the bit that I did earlier. So that's lucky, isn't it? Now I'm just going to have a look and see if there are any others that need a little bit extra. Just a few bits there and there. I didn't do that one across there. There. Right, we've got two gems and a crown, but we've also got the beads and the goblet. It's quite a long video, isn't it, so far? I think I feel like I want to do these two though. So let's have a look. What have we got colour-wise that we could do? We could do some different pinks. We've got pink there. Let's go for another blue. Just having a look here. I'm going to use this cobalt blue greenish to start with. Oh, excuse me, hiccups. I'm going to sharpen it a bit. Now this one at the back here we don't have, I'm trying to make sure I don't smudge the white pen. Don't have a lot of space to fill. So I feel that maybe if I fade this well enough, I might only need one colour. Might work. I'll have a go and see. Now here I've gone quite over the line, so I'm going to do the opposite on this one so that it looks like it was completely on purpose. This one we're going to come across from there. Start on the far side of that one. This one from the bottom. I want to do this one from the bottom. Now on some of these I've coloured on the white pen. I think it's fine. If you don't like it, you can go back over it in white pen. I mean, you could always leave all the white pen work to the end anyway. This looks really similar colour to this. It's a completely different colour. Interesting. And this one I am going to do in a pink. What's this colour? I think I use this. This is the middle purple pink. I think I use this. I may need two pinks for this. We're going to use a bit of black as well. I'll do it on both of them at once. Going a little bit faster just for these two. Just because we're sort of coming to the end of the video really. And from the bottom. Across from this side. I'm thinking this way. I'm looking at that silvery colour down here. It doesn't look very silvery. But anyway, I'm sure I'll be okay. I'm going to go sort of diagonally down there. This one upwards. Now I'm going to grab my black before I grab my white. And I'm going to be very careful because it's, again, we're dealing with quite a light colour, so we need to be a little bit cautious to making sure it doesn't just look like a big dollop of black. It just looks like a sort of darkened area. Just gently scumble it in a little bit. It's a little bit easier on the blue because that's a darker colour to start with. Then we'll grab our white. Pencils rolling everywhere. Just carefully going over the lines. Takes concentration. Hard to talk. I was feeling quite sad that the Olympics was coming to an end, and then I was realising that she got the Paralympics coming up. Now our coverage of that is always a lot worse. We tend to only get sort of a summary programme in the evening. It's also a different channel. The Olympics is always BBC, whereas the Paralympics is usually Channel 4. So I don't know. We have quite a few really good Paralympians. I don't know whether the guy who does table tennis is retired. We used to have a good table tennis guy, and our tennis players are amazing. We have a pair of tennis players that have just won everything forever in the wheelchair tennis. They're just really good. Right, now some people like to draw little shine marks on things. Now I've tried this, I'll show you. In another page in here, here it is. On this page, I tried putting little shine marks on some of the golden things. I wasn't sure whether I liked it or not really, so I'm not going to do it on this page. So here is what we've done today so far. We have got, what I'm going to do is leave it there, and then we've got the crown and the beads and the goblet to go for this little section, and next time we'll finish that, and then we'll maybe move on to something else. Depends how long it takes, because this goblet's quite intricate with all the gems and different bits and pieces in it. But there is what we've done so far. I'm pleased. I still can't decide whether to put white pen around the edge of the crown. I think because this section is so thin, if I use a pen, even if I use a thin pen on it, it's going to just erase it, the whole thing, and I think it's going to look a little bit odd. So I think I'm going to leave it, but I will think about that in between times. But there is that bit done. So I want to hang on, just move some pencils so I can actually come out a little bit, and you can see the whole page. You can see what we've actually only done. You can see all my pencils, only done quite a small amount, but I'm quite pleased with how it's looking, which is good, and hopefully you are as well. And quite looking forward to doing the next bit actually, but it's been a long old video just for that little bit. But we'll see how it all goes. I think it is going to be a bit like this with this one, which might mean that when it comes to planner page on Monday, you might be glad of a breather. Do something different. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a super day, and happy colouring.